The energy on set was incredible. I didn't actually work with any stuntmen on the set.
We would love to. We just need the lead. So anybody out there, if you've got...
We just needed the lead. But what stunned viewers across America was something far more serious. American Pickers star Mike Wolfe shocked everyone when he was led away in handcuffs. At first, fans speculated his arrest was related to an antiques dispute or possibly a business disagreement with the History Channel. However, breaking news reports revealed something far darker. Wolfe's arrest was connected to the mysterious death of his former co-host, Frank Fritz. Contrary to earlier reports that Fritz had died from natural causes, investigators now classify it as premeditated murder. Medical reports indicated lethal levels of medication in Fritz's system, suggesting a deliberate overdose. Prosecutors allege that Wolfe's act was calculated, not accidental. Drugging a former business partner who trusted him deeply was not only unthinkable but, in many eyes, outright evil. Although fans believed the tension between Wolfe and Fritz was just for show, it now appears to have run much deeper. Reports emerged that Wolfe's charges were initially downgraded while investigators gathered more evidence. A key breakthrough came when a crew member placed Wolfe at Fritz's home on the night he died. The Iowa State Police launched a full investigation and discovered damning evidence. Wolfe's fingerprints were found on medication bottles, and suspicious text messages were uncovered, leading to first-degree murder charges. The investigation began when a medical examiner noticed inconsistencies in Fritz's toxicology report. While the official cause of death had been listed as complications from a stroke, the autopsy revealed dangerously high levels of prescription drugs, far exceeding therapeutic doses. Fritz had been carefully following his recovery regimen, raising red flags about foul play. Security footage later showed Wolfe's vehicle arriving at Fritz's home hours before emergency services were called. Wolfe himself dialed 911, claiming to have found Fritz unresponsive, but paramedics arrived too late. While early reports cited Fritz's previous stroke, toxicology proved otherwise. Even more suspicious was Wolfe's behavior following Fritz's death. Within 48 hours, he contacted attorneys about acquiring the rights to Fritz's name and image for American Pickers merchandise and began accessing storage units filled with valuable antique. Crew members said Wolfe showed more focus on business than grief. During a search of Wolfe's home, investigators found a hidden safe containing unlabeled prescription bottles matching those found in Fritz's system. Even more damning was a journal in Wolfe's travel bag filled with years of resentment toward Fritz. In one entry written just weeks before the death, Wolfe vented that Fritz was a liability and believed there was only one way to protect what he had built. During the 6-week trial, Wolfe remained eerily calm as prosecutors revealed he had researched untraceable poisons and how to make murder look like natural causes. His internet history included searches like, "Can stroke medications be detected after death?" and "How to make someone's death look like a stroke." Testimonies from former American Pickers staff painted a chilling picture. Many witnessed rising hostility between Wolfe and Fritz over the show's future. Wolfe reportedly demanded full creative control and dismissed Fritz's contributions, particularly after his health decline. One assistant overheard heated arguments and said Wolfe had tried to isolate Fritz from the antique community. The most emotional moment came when Danielle Colby testified, visibly upset, sharing how Wolfe became obsessed with being the sole face of the show. She recalled confronting him, only to be told to stop interfering. The defense attempted to portray a misunderstood friendship, bringing in network execs who spoke of Wolfe's public support for Fritz. However, this was contradicted by Fritz's personal physician, who stated Fritz had been hopeful about recovery and never prescribed the drugs found in his system at such high levels. The turning point came when Wolfe, during cross-examination, lost his composure. When asked if he gave Fritz the medication, he lashed out, "You have no idea what it's like to build something from nothing and watch someone else take credit." That emotional outburst, according to jurors, became a pivotal moment, exposing the deep resentment still burning inside Wolfe years after Fritz's departure from the show. The financial motive behind the crime became clear when forensic accountants testified about suspicious changes to Mike Wolfe's business structure in the months leading up to Frank Fritz's death. Wolfe had been quietly restructuring his companies to absorb Fritz's intellectual property in the event of his incapacitation or death. He had also taken out a $5 million business insurance policy on Fritz, naming his own company as the beneficiary. Prosecutors further revealed that Wolfe had set up several shell companies, completely unbeknownst to Fritz, and transferred over $2 million worth of valuable antiques into them. The jury deliberated for just 4 hours before delivering a guilty verdict. When the judge announced a life sentence without the possibility of parole, the courtroom descended into chaos. Wolfe, who had maintained a composed demeanor throughout the trial, suddenly erupted. He stood up, screaming, "You don't understand. He was going to ruin everything. He was going to destroy my legacy." Lunging across the defense table, he sent legal pads and glasses flying, charging toward Fritz's family while swinging wildly. Officers rushed to restrain him, but not before he broke free again, grabbing an antique walking stick entered as evidence and using it as a weapon, striking a courtroom officer. "I built American Pickers. It was my life's work," he shrieked, before being tackled to the ground by multiple officers. The judge was quickly evacuated as Wolfe continued to resist arrest, shouting about betrayal and legacy. Fritz's sister, present at the sentencing, had to be escorted out when Wolfe attempted to lunge at her too. "I deserved everything. It was my show," he screamed as officers finally managed to handcuff him. The most shocking moment came when he locked eyes with Danielle Colby in the gallery and yelled, "Tell them the truth. Tell them what Frank was really like." Colby turned away in visible distress as other crew members broke down in tears. The American Pickers family has been ripped apart, some supporting Wolfe, others testifying against him. Court documents revealed that Wolfe had spent years systematically turning crew members against Fritz, sowing division within the team that may never heal. As security personnel struggled to subdue him, Wolfe revealed more disturbing details. He was going to start his own show. "He told me I was obsolete, that the network wanted him back," he screamed. Courtroom reporters described the scene as surreal, with at least 3 people injured, one being Wolfe's own attorney, struck by a flying pitcher. Even as he was dragged away, he continued yelling about betrayal and destruction, ruining any chance of a successful appeal and contradicting his legal team's portrayal of him as a misunderstood businessman incapable of violence. In the aftermath, former colleagues began coming forward with disturbing accounts. Producer Thomas Reynolds recalled Wolfe's terrifying outbursts off-camera, contrasting his charming, folksy TV persona. Others described him growing increasingly paranoid, convinced that Fritz was plotting a television comeback. The case has sent shockwaves through the reality TV world. American Pickers, once beloved by millions, now faces an uncertain future. The History Channel pulled all episodes featuring Wolfe and issued a statement expressing condolences to Fritz's family. Sponsors withdrew support, and the show's legacy is in jeopardy. Fritz's family has filed for control of his intellectual property and antiques, vowing to preserve his memory while taking legal action against the network for enabling Wolfe's increasingly erratic behavior. Mental health experts suggest Wolfe may have suffered from narcissistic personality disorder, intensified by fame. Dr. Robert Keller, a forensic psychologist, noted that such individuals can appear charming while harboring deep resentment and plotting revenge. A narcissistic injury like Fritz's departure could have festered for years. Perhaps most chilling is how Wolfe used his public platform to manipulate viewers. Following Fritz's death, he posted emotional tributes, attributing it to stroke complications, and launched special merchandise in his memory. "This was not just murder," said prosecutor Sarah Donovan. "This was a calculated deception of millions of trusting fans." Investigators found over $1 million was raised in Fritz's name, funneled into accounts only Wolfe could access. As Mike Wolfe begins his life sentence, fans are left to reconcile the image of a passionate picker with the violent man behind it. "We trusted his charm," said longtime viewer Robert Jenkins. "To discover it was all a facade is devastating." Colleagues have distanced themselves from Wolfe, many calling for respect for Fritz's memory. Danielle Colby, who testified against him, has taken a leave of absence, seeking healing and privacy. She expressed hope that the original spirit of antique preservation can survive this tragedy. Other crew members have remained silent, grappling with the trauma of losing Fritz and watching Wolfe's conviction. The judge's final words now seem prophetic. "Mr. Wolfe, you presented yourself as a champion of American history, all while plotting the death of the man who helped build your platform. Justice is served, not just for Frank Fritz, but for the millions who trusted you." It was then that Wolfe began his violent outburst, his final public act before being led away to spend the rest of his life behind bars. His last words to the courtroom still echo, "Goodbye forever to all of you. The truth will come out someday." Whether those were the cries of a broken man or the manipulations of a master performer remains up for debate. What's certain is that American Pickers will never be the same again, a show once about preserving history now forever marred by murder, betrayal, and the darkness hidden behind a charming smile.